right? So what are my key needs today? Okay, my key needs today are, gosh, we're really struggling with, getting our notes done in time and getting responses back to customers, getting after action emails back to customers. Okay, that might help me hone in on the tool that I need. I don't need every tool in the stack, right? I just need maybe something to help me with notes. That's my current need, and that's what I'm gonna focus on. And then you can figure out, okay, let me get the plan together so that it's a lasting plan. I think about like a company that I worked at that moved from G Suite to Microsoft. It was such a big undertaking to do that they really had to think about, how do we make this deployment last, right? And so that's where your plan is gonna be really critical. And then obviously when you test, you're gonna understand the gaps. You're gonna figure out, okay, which tools really helped me? Now, if you have tested transcription tools, who here, a lot of people said transcription tools, so raise your hand if you've used a transcription. Did you try one, or did you try a few? Curious.
Built into Zoom.
Okay, yeah, Zoom, yeah, that one. So, yeah, we've heard, I didn't actually get to try that one, but I remember when it came out.
Which I think is part of it, so maybe, yeah.
Oh, did Zoom by Core? Okay, I totally missed that. Awesome. Did you try one? Everyone just jumped on. Any others? Any examples? Tried one?
No, many.
Many. Okay, so many is, I think, the way to go to make sure that what you picked is right. Now, you might say, well, most of these tools are the same, right? But I'm pretty sure they're not, because I've used a couple of them. But you might have those things that are on your team's wish list, and maybe the tool's not achieving it, right? So giving yourself a little space in your deployment plan to do the test, I think can really help to take it all the way to a deployment which sticks. Okay, so I'm just thinking about that, but I think that's like fundamentals for any process. Okay, so let's talk about how do we drive value for yourself and for your customers. All right, so you can provide many benefits for your CS teams and customers using AI, right? We know this. You can save time, you can do complex analysis in no time at all. You can notify, you can engage your customers, you can do explanations, expansion on a particular topic of interest, right? I'm really interested to see like what would happen in a help center, right, with like the addition of OpenAI, like that could be really, really interesting. And you can even show your product teams and your other teams in your company like quantitative data now about what is actually, qualitative data now of what's actually happening in our ecosystem, right? And how we're learning and growing. So I would like to run through a couple of examples though, because I think there are risks and there are rewards, right? And I think we all recognize that. Like as much as we know there's benefits, there are people that have said, I haven't used many AI tools at all, right? And I'd like to understand kind of like what some scenarios could be. So I came up with like 2 quick examples of AI use cases for CSMs, and I wanted to think about like, risk and reward a little bit. So tool number 1 is a health score change, right? So this is a tool that's now gonna compare customer health data, trends based on past behavior, and notify an admin if there's a potential area of concern, okay? So some possible risks. Is your data like 100% accurate? If you don't feel your data is 100% accurate, this could be a risk, right? And I'm not like wanting to call people out, but this happens, right? There are like, we worked in InsurTech. Do you know how insurance data comes in? It is all different. It is all messy. It is complex. There are different claim numbers for the same thing. So just figuring out how to do your data intake itself might be a first step, right? So there might be risks in just putting in a tool, right? You could have an inaccurate notification as such. So I don't know if anyone has ever received in their inbox, like I got a notification from something like OpenTable, like you dined this many times, but it was inaccurate. Like it was like a glitch. It was like you had dined like 5,000 times, but I hadn't. So then the real email came a couple days later or whatever, somebody figured it out. So the point being, like, this could happen. So I think the rewards are, while you're saving time for your team and you're maybe bringing new things into the home, you really have to think about, how do I make sure that my infrastructure is set up correctly to get the result that I want? Transcription tool may be a little lower risk, but a data processor or a tool that's going to do automatic notifications, you might want to actually take a second look and do extra testing. Let's talk about another example. So this is playbook design, a tool designed to create an onboarding playbook. I think for scale teams, these things are super valuable, right? You can adjust, a tool can actually, AI can suggest adjustments to your onboarding plan based on where customers get stuck. You can have really good quantitative data to understand, like, wow, my onboarding goes great until this. Okay, great, I need to adjust. Cool. Notifies your CSM, hey, customer's in a lag. Go ahead and talk to them. This is not working. So I think, where are the risks there? I don't know. It could happen. Automation can fail, right? For some reason, the lag exceeds a number of days and the tool doesn't know what to do, right? So you have to work on your training, right? There's a lot of elements, and Katie was kind of talking about how they really work to train their tool to make sure that it is not answering incorrectly or not giving customers something they shouldn't get from that tool. So really thinking about the parameters of that. Hey, am I going to design this so that I get alerted to take action, or am I going to design this in a certain way to make sure I can mitigate any risks? I also thought of like a segmentation mismatch, like if a customer segment was not cleanly applied or something had happened in the sales process and it didn't come over, there could be some sort of the wrong customer getting the wrong playbook, right? So we really have to think, as much as AI can be a benefit, we have to think about where are the risks and how do we think about our process when deploying. Okay, so obviously you guys see the rewards, so I don't have to go into that. Okay, so obviously with all of this comes responsible use, and I kind of pulled together really just some really simple bullets here. I don't think this is rocket science, but I